Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith of the Smith and Black channel here at Ticker Talker, and slowing down a bit. We've been having some problems with Interactive Brokers. It looks like we got their sketch at best right now, and I was seeing some Robinhood problems too. So what that's doing is that's taking out some market participants, and that's where you're going to start to see things dry up and do nothing. Like you're going to see this SPY up in here. We open and we're just kind of sitting here doing nothing, kind of waiting. Even when things come up, oftentimes people are going to be a little squeamish, and so oftentimes on Mondays too is usually when we're going to do the least because we want everything to reconfirm what we know about the monthlies, right? And so oftentimes we'll let them open on a Monday, and then everything you've heard of turn around Tuesday, let everything reconfirm or negate what happens on a Monday. So one of the good things about it is that when you dry up like this, you can see discernible strength and weaknesses in certain sectors and certain stocks, and we Tesslers more new highs, sticking it to them once again. And so if you go to the weekly upper middle, you can see the Momo hammer. They tried to hit it last week, brings it right back up, and anybody who stayed short, boom, met into some new buyers this morning, and that takes her up into the highs. So it's exhaustion risk by going into new highs, but Tesla's still going, and right now you can see in the lower left the inside 60 right there. So either side of that for the rest of the day will get my attention. Another good thing about opening flat like this, you're going to see this in the Dow Jones Diamonds, 2 hours inside of here, and just a little speck like all these broader averages are. The good thing about something like that is that you can spot the divergences in the Dow real quick. Triple M, upper left. You're going to see the inside day to the downside, right? Going after last week's lows, red on all time frames, as compared to Boeing here that goes inside day to the upside, and then you get your 60 here on the lower left. And so that's one of the good things about a flat market. You can spot stuff like that. We got gold coming up here too, and gold here now an inside 60. Like a lot of things, you just want to be real careful about things drying up here. Just like I said, a lack of participants will do it. So coming in tomorrow, a lot of this stuff will reconfirm or negate, because every week we start three of the four major time frames start over again. Your new weekly, your new daily, and your new 60, right? And all that stuff's got to reconfirm, and we got to have market participants have access to the market. So in the gold in the upper middle, you're going to see how it slightly takes out the lows last week, and then boom, there's your reversal here on the weekly above 173.32, and so we're looking for these to take this out. 175.24, so these two would become an outside bar of that, and you never know, maybe you get even a little bit more. Still an inside month in the lower middle, so you'd always want to be aware of that. If we go to crude, UCO popping a little bit here, and you see this, I don't know if it's inside week. Yep, inside week to the upside for crude. So the hopes is that gets some of those stocks going, but as of right now, not so much. In the airlines, believe it or not, American Airlines popping up, leading the crew over there, because it's company specific, it's not sector specific, because you're going to see stuff like United Airlines here not doing too much, or Delta. So I'm not seeing any news on it, but right now American Airlines starts off with a nice week. If we go to Adobe, in Adobe, you're going to see this here. The inside day, upper left. Inside day doesn't gap. Opens and just takes that out. So we use this directionally to take this out, right? Here's your equilibrium, and then here's your magnitude. And hopefully you get more out of it because you're taking out last week's highs. And then here's where we could really get us going. If we can get Adobe to break this, you can see slight lower low in the lower middle, how it took out the lows of the last month, and now if you can take this out, and we'd get our T2 reversal over 502.53. So you get a little more acreage on that, but you get the nice start off with the inside day to the upside. If we go to J Miami, stalling out a bit here, but another thing we're looking for, the same thing, taking out last week's lows and then coming back through. Still an inside month in the lower middle, we know that, but anytime we're green on all time frames, and some would want to know about. So it did hit his daily magnitude. But by that I mean when you took out previous day's highs, then the lows, and boom, it took this out. These two become an outside bar of that, right? So the hopes is that can hold and re-break that week and keep that up there. If we go to Carvana, and Carvana here, if you go to, where are you, Carvana? Carvana. So you can see this was nice too. The head faker, the two down 212 inside day to the upside here above 230, 250. All right, now trading 258.30. So it goes into the highs, right? Does its job, and you can see this continuation in the lower left. The inside 60, all right? The two up, the inside 60, the measured move, and off she goes. So it does take out the outside weak, and it's going to the high. So that's exhaustion risk. Its job was for these guys to become an outside bar of all this, which it is. But we can keep an eye on it. Maybe it keeps going. If you go to ADPT, and you'll see in the daily, took out the previous low, and then boom, comes ripping back through there. That's good, right? So still an inside month, so we want to see if we can take this out. You can see here in the lower middle, took out last month's lows, last month here. Now you see if you can take this out, 53.83, and then take that out, and maybe more, and go back to the all-timers. We'll keep an eye on that. If we go to IOVA, and IOVA, exhaustion risk by going into the highs. So we'll see if that sets up again. If we get down to a 30 maybe. Yeah, maybe a 15er. We'll see. Okay, now we got some corrective activity. That's good. We can see if this goes inside on the 15 and maybe sets up again. You can see the directional here in the lower left. The inside 15er on the way up. Still good. So we'll see if that sets up again. We got Netflix waking up. And Netflix hasn't been doing much, but once again, we want to look for these monthlies to see if we can really get it going. And here you take out the lows, last month's lows, and now if you can take this out, and we'll talk. Here, 518.73, right? And that'll be good because here on your daily, you're gonna see it slightly took out the high, then slightly took out the low, and then started the new week and came ripping back through here. So another thing that we look for on the 15-minute, here, lower left. The shooter, the hammer, and boom, these two become an outside bar of all that. And that's how you get in. It's going to be very similar here. Take out the previous high, take out the previous low, boom, these become an outside bar of all that, you see? After the inside 15 here for the measured move. If we go to Fate, and Fate came firing out of the chute here. Exhaustion risk because you are going into new highs, all right? So you always want to be aware of that. But then you can see here in the lower left, the inside 15. Let it come in. The inside 15, this is a 2-1-2 reversal. Back up and takes out the highs. That's what we're looking for. How's your 60 looking now? 60 stalls out a little bit. How about 30? Take a look. You inside in the 30? 53.22. Yep, inside 30 right here. So we'll see if that goes here. And you can, once again, you've heard me talk about the sideways 60. See these two? These 230 make an inside 60. But it's not going to be there when you go to a 60-minute chart. Actually, in this case, it was inside 60, but these, it's very important to understand this, right? It's like you can see this was inside 60, but it was after this, and that's why these two are the actual inside 60. But these two were also a 60 as well because that's a 60-minute time period. So you could buy that as soon as it broke here, right there, and then you get ready for the setup that took it into the highs, which less magnitude. But it's important to be able to not read charts, but to analyze data. What are you looking at here, right? If we go to Crispy, and Crisp, just more exhaustion risk going into the highs. It looks like it's stalling out here a little bit. Had a nice run here and now trying to back off. We'll see if that can set up again. If we go to AQB, and AQB, more exhaustion risk, but nice long green to start off the day, and that's what we like, nice long red and green bars, right? And so here, now you can see it on the lower left, going inside on the 60-minute. So this gets my attention again if we can take this out here above 1066 to see if we can get this thing heating up. All right, speaking of heating up, we'll see if this came back in. We had Marna started to heat up just a tad and stalls out a little bit, but you can see here on the lower left, inside on the 60, up, triggers this inside day in the upper left, right? Upper left here, inside day to the upside. Still handily inside week. It's still gapped up and red on the month, but any inside day is going to get our attention there. Like so, GBT, What's this thing doing? GBT taking out last week's lows. Just pick this up on the tape so you can keep an eye on this. You can see down in the lower left, the inside 60 to the downside, taking that out. So anything taking out last week's lows is something we want to know about as well. If we go to letter X trying to wake up here, and you can watch that. What we call it used to be somebody. Right? Yeah, X used to be somebody. So we'll now see if we can get any setups to get back in there, and that can tell us, there you go, inside on the 30 right here. So if we can take this out in the next half an hour, 1760, that would get my attention. Okay, just watching these broader averages kind of dry up here. And you can always take a look and see what else is going on in there. Nucor doing anything? Nope. So it's company specific once again. If we go to Candy, KNDI, and KNDI you can see here on the daily upper left. Takes out the previous high, takes out the previous low, and then guns through here to give you the outside bar of that. Now, it also, these four are also an outside bar of that. The problem here is you're going to go inside weak, and you got a lot of room to get out of there, but it does move around a bit, and you can see here on the lower left, the 30 goes inside and down. So this would RevStrat, if we can take this high out after this half hour closes out, if this maintains the high, that would get my attention above 948. If we go to Pac B, and Pac B say, all right, starting to come in, a little corrective activity here, but once again, exhaustion risk by going into the highs, right? But nice long green so far for the month. And here's really where you like to pick it up. It's inside week here, pokes down, boom, RevStrat right there. So we'll see if this sets up again. Tries to go Momo Hammer. You see this upper left, right? Usually that needs to stay up there, because once you blow everybody out, right? I remember you who stayed short on Friday. The buyer's got to step up, and if they don't, you get something like this where it starts to back off. So we'll see. If we go to Beam Therapeutics, we'll see what more comes of this. Once again, exhaustion risk by going into the highs, and there's a lot of things that are doing that. And what that doesn't mean it's going to fall apart. What that means, just like the broader averages, that you just might stall out. You just might not do anything more. So you'd wait for it to set up again. And here on the 30, you're going to see this inside bar. Then it pokes down to stop these guys out, and then comes back and turns green. Right there, we're looking for an outside bar. That's how you get in on this. And then you're going to always be aware of a new 60, right, to see if the buyers are still there. Now, just inside 60, the upside, we can notice this right on the new hour. It starts to sell off. The buyers didn't step up for the new hour, right? So we'll see if that sets up again later. If you go to IGMS, and IGMS, okay, this thing's starting to triangle out and come back in. We'll see. One of the good things about something like this is look at the monthly here, where it's taken out last month's highs. If we go to RNG, and RNG, just a nice inside day to the upside. And remember, we're looking at this on the weekly last week because of that inside week, and then down and boom. Now you're going to exhaustion risk. So anytime it gets up there, we want it to stay up there. Right now it's going inside 60 down. For some of the downside, we had Sarepta. And Sarepta right now trying to go inside and down on the 60. And once again, still inside weak, right? But here on the 2-2 reversal daily, see, it didn't gap upper left, right? Didn't gap, it opened and then took out Friday's lows. That's something I'd want to know about right there. If we go to JKS, and JKS, not totally getting killed, but something I want to keep an eye on over here. Here below this. 55.82. You're getting closer to that. Then you'd have your inside month to the downside. SUMO is getting hit on some news here. Not sure what that was, but we'll see if that sets up again. You got your outside day. Now if you go to upper middle, now we'll see if it can get weak enough to go outside weak, because now you're changing that month back red. Looking to me like it's going to go inside 60, so we can keep an eye on that on the flip, the bottom of the next hour. Docu. Also here, this is where we look for the exhaustion risk, where it gaps up, right? And then comes back through 2-2 reversal here to the downside, so we can keep an eye on that to set up more. Always running out of time here, but let's take a look at just a couple more. Best Buy here, taking out 3 months of lows here. That's a problem. That's a problem. Three months of people along this stuff are now underwater, right? So we'll see if this sets up again for you too. And you got big lots Also here, having some issues, and now inside on the 60 in your lower left, taking out last week's lows and Friday's lows, and looking to go outside on the month here, all right over there. So yeah, be careful here. We got some illiquidity due to some systems problems, as you can see, with Interactive Brokers and potentially with Robinhood. So be aware of that, right? Because things could get worse if they they're already starting to dry up. So that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, Mr. Black Channel here. Take a talker with the Strat Time Report.